back to the reading vlogs. It is Sunday afternoon and I thought I'd start the vlog here with a little bit of a reading update. And also I just finished filming Thursday's video. It is a get to know me vlog, which will be out by the time the vlog comes out, obviously. But yeah, I'm just not in there. I'm just still too caught up with my health to like think really hard about what video I want to do, and yeah, so I thought I'd do like an easy video for this week and give myself a little bit of a leeway, and so I have done the get to know me tag. So yeah, I have filmed that. I only need to edit that tomorrow and then I can like get it uploaded. But yeah, the audiobook I'm currently listening to is Dumb Witness by Agatha Christie. I still don't really like it. In all honesty, I think Hercule Poirot is kind of an asshole as a person, and so yeah, I don't know. The more cases I read, the less I like the guy. Hastings is kind of a dumb... I don't know, Hastings is kind of like so naive and dumb. I just cannot understand why they have... like why they are so popular, you know? But oh well, yeah, I'm nearly finished with that, but I'm still not quite. And then this morning I continued with In the Life of Puppets, and I'm kind of disappointed. I'm so sad to say that. I'm now 120 pages into it, so I'm a bit into it. And I don't like the characters. I don't understand. Like, the writing style is so similar to the other one I've read by him, which I already forgot the name again. The House in the Cerulean Sea, you know? The writing style is obviously really similar, but here we have like the awkward main character. He is 21, I think, at the beginning of the book. He reads like a teenager, which kind of makes sense because obviously he just has robots around him and not like other human beings, but he reads so young, it's so irritating. And then we have the vacuum robot who is like the perpetual victim, and then we have the nurse robot who is like a psychopath kind of and wants to kill everyone, and that's the funny side of her. And then we have the dad who is the android who like makes things, who just kind of like, I don't know, makes it all awkward. And yeah, I don't like any of the characters right now. And it's so annoying, because in The House in the Cerulean Sea, I just loved the characters. I think that is something that also really stood out for me. And then now to have like a book with such unlikable characters, because they're so cliche and they are so one-dimensional. And I mean, yeah, it's cool that our main character seems to be Ace, but is he really? He never met any other humans? Like, in his whole life, he hasn't met one other human. And then they just conclude, yeah, he's Ace. Because he looked at, like, a sex education thing that the nurse robot showed him, and he didn't react to that. I think that's kind of weird. Like, I like representation. I think it's really cool if the main character really is Ace. But just the definition and explanation seems really weird, to be honest. And yeah, I just don't like the characters, which is such a big problem. I think the idea of the story is really interesting, although this book also works with the wiped memory trope. So yeah, it's a lot of like, I don't know who I am. I don't know why I tried to kill you. I don't know who I am. It's weird, to be honest. I'm not impressed. The more I talk about it, the less I like it, actually. But yeah, so I will continue with it, but in all honesty, I don't have high hopes, which I'm really sad to say, because when I got this in the book box, I had really high hopes, because The House in the Cerulean Sea was such a great book and I gave it 5 stars. I really loved it. And this one starts so disappointingly. Like, the first 40 pages were fine, and then just the characters just grated on my nerves with how they are like talking, and pretty much like all of the conversations go over the same jokes again and again and again. Why was it necessary? I don't know. So yeah, I will try to finish it this week. I might pick up a different book. I can't promise you anything, but I'm disappointed in it, to be honest, which is a sad thing. But yeah, other than that, I only have like a 3-day work week this week, because we have like a holiday on Thursday, and I took Friday off of work, so I have a 4-day weekend and only 3 days work, which is really nice, to be honest. So yeah, I will go and do some gaming now. I hope you're having a great weekend. The weather is still really nice here, so we spend a lot of time with our dog outside, and yeah, I will see you. Okay, it's Tuesday. I wanted to check in with you yesterday, didn't get to it. This week is a little bit stressful because it's only like 3 days of work, so I have to get a lot done, and yeah, it's draining my energy really quickly. But I did read a little bit yesterday, so I wanted to give you a reading update. First things first, I finished Dumb Witness by Agatha Christie. I gave it 3 stars, so to be honest, I'm thinking maybe I should just give them 2 stars. Because I don't know, they're just meh to me, and I don't think that 3 stars kinda is accurate in that, but yeah. For the time being, I gave it 3 stars. I don't know. I find Agatha Christie books to be really average, to be honest. And yeah, I don't really like the main character. I think Hercule Poirot is an asshole. And he's really judgmental, and kind of like he really only ever is the sole character with any kind of intelligence in the books. I don't know. I think it's weird. But yeah, so I finished that, and then I picked up a book about whales, just because it sounded really interesting. I will have to look up the title. Let me look up the title, so I can tell you what it is. It sounded so interesting, and I didn't really know what I wanted to listen to next. Okay, so before I come to the book about the whales, I started The Library of the Dead. Sadly, I cannot deal with the narrator of the audiobook, so I might have to pick that book up as a physical copy. But yeah, it is like a rather high-pitched, young-sounding female voice. I personally prefer like the grandfatherly old man voices from audiobooks, just like a personal preference. I don't really love the voice, so yeah, I stopped listening to that. Will pick up the physical copy at some point in my life, you know. I'm interested in the story, I just can't listen to it. And then the whale book I picked up is called Spying on Whales by Nick Pienson. And it's pretty much like the past, present and future of the world's biggest animal, or largest animal. And yeah, it's just a book with facts about whales, and I love it. It's really interesting. I don't know, I think whales are cool animals. And yeah, it's really fun to listen to just facts about whales, what they do, how they eat, and so on. And yeah, I'm really enjoying that book. So yeah, I will continue to listen to that one this week. And then we have some reading updates. I got like just a little bit farther in The Life of Puppets. I still don't like the characters. I don't know. I will continue with it in a minute. I'm afraid that it just isn't for me because the characters aren't for me, which happens, you know. But I'm still sad about it. Then the second book I picked up is The Long Last Call by John Skip. This is a horror book. A really interesting introduction by another author book horror, Brian Keeney, which the name does sound familiar to me, but yeah, I don't think I've read something by him. But yeah, I definitely have heard of him. But yeah, this book is about someone who goes into a strip club with like a suitcase full of money, and every dollar he spends out of that suitcase makes the people around him more aggressive. So yeah, I haven't come far yet, you know, because I'm currently now reading like a few pages here, a few pages there from different books, because I like doing that. So yeah, at the moment we have like our main character who's just barely drinking age, and he has broken up with his girlfriend, and he's already kind of not right in the head. He has like weird visions and stuff, and so yeah, he has come into the script club now, and then I think the main guy who will make everyone madder and madder will come in a minute, but I'm not there yet. And then the other book I picked up is the Terry Pratchett book, and that is Night Watch, which is the 5th or 6th book in the City Watch collection. To be honest, not my favorite, but my partner absolutely loved this book, so yeah, I picked this up. I'm, I don't know, 50 pages into it, so also not that far. Yeah, it has the typical characters, you know, we have Vimes, we have Carrot, Nobby, and all of like the watchfolk, and it's getting diverse and diverser. Like we have zombies, and the vampires also want to have someone in the watch. We have the werewolves, you know, all of that. But yeah, the book starts with Vimes' wife being pregnant and him pretty much starting to be a father. And something happened where a lot of people died, I think, but I can't remember what happened, and the book hasn't told me yet. So I'm interested to see where that goes, but yeah. There hasn't been that much story now, but yeah, it's typical Terry Pratchett. I'm just not the biggest fan of the City Watch characters because I kind of find them weird, to be honest. I'm much more of a fan of Rincewind. That is my kind of weird, you know. But yeah, I'm really excited to see where this is going and how the story will develop. So yeah, maybe it is good. I just don't know yet, but we'll see. I can't really I don't really have an opinion, you know, 50 pages in. But yeah, that is pretty much what I've read. Not that much, but yeah, I didn't have that much time. Thankfully, I only have to work tomorrow, and then I have the rest of the week off, which is great. So I will now get more into this one. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully it gets better, but yeah, we'll see. Okay, let's talk a little bit more about In the Lives of Puppets. I'm nearly halfway through now, and I still don't like it any better. And to be honest, I can't really pinpoint like completely why the writing annoys me, but for some reason the way the characters talk and stuff, it just annoys me. I'm now in part 2 of the book. I'm gonna assume there are 3 parts to the story. But yeah, pretty much part 1. We have like our robots and Vic, and you know, and they're living there, and they find the new robot Hep, and well, they live there and pretty much go on with their lives. And then at one point, because Vic lost some blood in the scrapyard he visits, where he also found Hep, he attracts different like robots who are on the hunt for Vic, and actually for the human who lost the blood. They're on the hunt for Geo, the android who is the father of Vic. And spoiler alert here, but turns out Vic, the human, wasn't like left by his parents in Geo's care, but Geo made him pretty much like a test tube baby, you know. He made him, so there aren't any parents. And then Geo gets like taken away by the robots from the robot corporation kind of, and before that he makes sure like that Vic and stuff are in like this, Vic and the rest of the robots are in this bunker where they are safe from the scanners of the robots, so they don't know they are there. And then in the bunker there's like a video message, and kind of the message explains a little bit to Vic what is happening. But it's, I don't know, it's such a weird thing, because you would think like he would prepare Vic just a little bit better for the world, because Vic really has no idea about anything other than the house he lives in and the scrapyard. He just doesn't know anything about the rest, which is so weird. I really don't get why that has to be, and it's so irritating kind of. And then part 2 that I now started is obviously the journey to go and rescue Geo, which obviously Geo is like, yeah, please don't rescue me, live your life, be happy, blah blah blah. But I mean, first of all, did he not think about that Vic would maybe be unhappy to be the only human being ever he knows? And then second, obviously he's gonna come and rescue you, you know? I mean, he could have thought about that. And I'm so sick of the comments of the nurse robot, because she does like really weird sexual comments all the time. They are incredibly irritating. I have no idea why. Like, the nurse robot is so fixated on sexual arousal in the weirdest moments. And I don't know. I don't like it. I think it's really weird. And to be honest, I don't even feel like this is the same author who've written The House in the Cerulean Sea. It doesn't feel like the same author. It's so weird to me, because The House in the Cerulean Sea was like so lovely, and even though the main character was also a little bit dense, he just had this charm, you know. None of these characters have any kind of charm. They're all just weird. And I don't know. I'm not happy with the book, to be honest. I will definitely finish it, hopefully, because I do want to finish it. It is a really lovely looking book. But yeah, I'm really disappointed. So TJ Klune might be an author that is really hit or miss for me. I might have to pick up like a third book for him to kind of get an idea of if maybe like The House in the Cerulean Sea was just an outlier and I don't enjoy his writing style otherwise, but yeah. Disappointing. But I wanted to give it like a quick check-in to like just get my thoughts out about the book, because I don't know. It's just, I'm disappointed, even though I didn't really have any expectations. Except for like the book saying that it's inspired by like Pinocchio and the Swiss Family Robinson. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that there will probably be some kind of like plot twist at some point. You know, we still don't know if there are even any other humans alive anymore. So yeah, these things will probably be talked about at some point in the book, and obviously we know going on the journey, so Vic will see like the earth for the first time, like pretty much, except for like the forest. What I also find really interesting is that Vic never, like obviously never was interested to like find out more about like wandering farther from the house at all. Like he seems to be like pretty much like a non-rebellious child, except for going to the scrapyard, you know. I don't know, I think it's weird. I don't think that the characters are like fitting in any kind of way. It's, well, Thursday, late afternoon, slash evening. We're not gonna talk about yesterday. It was a bad day yesterday. So let's talk about the reading I've done. First things first, I continued with the audiobook about whales. It is so interesting. There are so many facts about whales I just didn't know, and I didn't realize that I wanted to know. It's kind of really weird, but yeah, I find that book really relaxing, really interesting. And yeah, he just talks about like where whales started, how long, you know, have the whales been there, how they evolved, and all of that stuff pretty much, and then what we humans obviously do to whales. But yeah, that's really relaxing and interesting, that audiobook. So I think I have like 2 hours, 2.5 hours left of it. So I probably will finish that till Saturday. But yeah, the next book we'll need to talk about is the John Skip book. I continued a little bit with this one. I'm 40 pages in now. I'm a little bit afraid of where this book is going. Yeah, it's like it's placed in a strip club. I don't know how much I talked about it already, but yeah, we have like this really weird main character at the moment who broke up with his girlfriend, or his girlfriend broke up with him, and he's like really unstable mentally, kind of. And then we also got like the perspective of one of the strippers, which was also really interesting. But yeah, I'm really afraid where this book is going, but we don't have like really any violence yet. Then I continued with Night Watch. I'm 77 pages into this one right now. I'm still not sure how I feel about Vimes and the other characters, but yeah, I think the story might be interesting. At the moment, Vimes who was like the main character and also like the chief of the watch from Mapok, and yeah, he's was teleported back in time, and yeah, he has to kind of try and like find his way back, and with his character that can be quite a problem. But yeah, so interested where this is going. Still not my favorite series of the Terry Pratchett books that play on the Discord. I much prefer the Rincewind series, but yeah. I love everything if you want to read them all. And then the most progress I have done is in The Lives of Puppets. I hopefully will finish this book today and then give you an update tomorrow, because I only have that much left. I have to say it has gotten a little bit better, but there are still major problems for me. To be honest, at the moment I still couldn't really recommend the book. Let me search for... Okay, so I already told you I had like a problem with the weird sexual innuendos in the book from like the nurse robot, and let me give you an example how it is in the book to show you just what annoys me. And keep in mind, this is on page 297, so it's a long way into the book, and we had a lot of the same things before that. But yeah, the scene is you have our Vic and Hap in one box to be smuggled into the city, and then you have the nurse robot and Rambo the vacuum robot in another box, and the two robots come out of the box first, and they open the box Vic and Hap are in, and they pretty much are like Hap is here, and then Vic is in front of him, like pressed into him, because there's a really little space in the box. And so they open the box, and then and we have here, Victor, Nurse Ratched said, if you're done sitting on top of Hap, I suggest you get out of the crate while this warehouse is empty. I'm not sitting on top of Hap, you are, Rambo said, sounding confused. We can see you. Why do you look out of breath? Were you exerting yourself inside the box? What will you do? Oh, gross. I mean, that sounds nice. Why? There's no reason. They're inside a box being smuggled into the city. Why does there have to be like a weird comment what they could be doing in the box, an android and a human? And that is the whole book. And I just don't get it, you know? I think the story is so interesting, you know? I think just the whole concept of like him living with the robots, knowing nothing about humans, and now I'm gonna have to say spoiler here, spoiler warning here, but I'm gonna put like a skip time here. Obviously he went after Giovanni, his father, and he tries to rescue him, and they get captured by like a collector of human memorabilia, like an android, and he knew Giovanni and helped him escape the city in his past life, pretty much. And so he captures them, and because he doesn't know who he has in front of him, and then, you know, there's a lot of like action, blah blah blah, and he finds out that Vic is human and that they try to save Giovanni, and he decides to help them. And so yeah, he manages to smuggle them into the city in these crates, and yeah, you have like this whole adventure they're going on, and the robots finding pretty much their humanity, and like Vic finding out that all humans are pretty much extinct. I mean, there might be an exception, we don't know yet, but yeah, at this point he realized that all of humanity is extinct and he's the only human left, technically. And yeah, you know, you have this really interesting storyline, and then you have these sexual comments, primarily, like all of them obviously relate to Vic, but ever since we have Hep in the picture, a lot of them are like connected between Hep and Vic, and it's so weird because it's so unnecessary. And I don't get it, and it really ruins the book for me. I don't know. I it's annoying, you know? I don't think they're necessary. I think they're ruining a really nice story. Like, yeah, I don't know. And I don't think the house in the Shurian Sea were anything like that, you know? So I don't get why it happens in this book, especially considering that I feel like Vic reads really, really young. Even though he's over 20, I think he reads more like if he's 15, 16, in my opinion, which that might vary, you know, but for my, like, as I am reading him, I feel like it's more like that age, and so that makes the whole thing even more weird. Yeah. I am not impressed. I have to be honest. I'm sadly really not impressed. I would love to like the story. I like the concept of the story. I just cannot understand why that has to be in there, and then yeah, it just makes the characters unlikable, to be honest. So yeah, I'm rather annoyed at that. And yeah, we also have like this really weird flirting thing between the nurse robot and the android who's the collector type, who's like, he looks a little bit more human but not really. It's also like a really weird scene. I don't know. I'm not impressed, and I'm a little bit sad about it. But what can you do, right? So yeah, I will finish that in a minute, and then hopefully I can read a little bit more tomorrow. Probably not, for the main reason, my partner and I, we have our first wedding anniversary in like 2 weeks, and because he is a really great partner, to celebrate, he bought us the Lego Lord of the Rings set, the new one, like the really, really big one. And yeah, it came yesterday, and so we started building it today. I'm gonna insert you some pictures how far we are, but yeah, we decided to do like, to watch the extended Lord of the Rings movies, and while we're doing that, we are doing the Lego set, because we're both really big Lego fans. And yeah, we finished watching the first movie today, which were like 3.5 hours, and we only managed to get like 1/4 through the Lego set, so it will take us some time, but yeah, we're gonna continue tomorrow afternoon. So yeah, I don't have time to read like for a big portion of the day at the moment, but I'm really enjoying doing the Lego set because it looks so great. I'm so impressed by the set. It's really, really pretty. So yeah, I'm gonna enjoy that gift, even though we are doing it a little bit early, but neither of us wanted to wait 2 weeks till the anniversary to do it, and we have like a 4-day weekend, so we can do it this weekend, you know. And also, like, I just love watching the Lord of the Rings movies. They are so, so good. Like, for me, these are like the perfect movies. Yeah, I don't want anything else. I just want the Lord of the Rings movies. But yeah, yeah, I will now. Let's stop talking. I will now read The Lives of in the Lives of Puppets, and then I will listen to my audiobook for the rest of the evening, however much time that is, and I will see you tomorrow with my final verdict on In the Life of Puppets, which probably isn't going to be too great. So it's already evening again. I'm really sorry. The days are going by really quick at the moment, and yeah, I often don't get to check in with you till it's evening. But yeah, I'm gonna insert some footage here. We went on a really nice hike this morning. We drove out of Berlin like for an hour, and then we took the dog, obviously. And then yeah, we went to this lake, and it was like a really nice hike there for like an hour and a half, and then we went back home, did some shopping, like groceries and stuff, you know. And yeah, that was a really, really nice morning activity. Sometimes it's just nice to like get out of town and get just somewhere else. And yeah, the lake walk, well, the hike, we used like an app that tells you like hiking paths you could take and how long they take and stuff, so you know beforehand how long they take. And yeah, we only did like an hour and a half because with my body you never know how long I can like be outside the range of like normal amenities, like a toilet for example. So yeah, we did the 1.5 hour hike and it was really nice. It was like there was nobody, we were the only ones there, and just like the sounds of the forest and everything, yeah, it was really nice. And then for the second half of the day, up until now, we continued building our Lego Lord of the Rings set, and we actually watched the majority of the Lord of the Rings 2, the extended cut obviously. But yeah, those movies are so good. I don't know. They are my ideal movie. I wish there were more like movies like that out there, to be honest. But yeah, so that was what I did today. And now we're coming to my reading. First off, the audiobook is still great. I haven't listened to that much more yesterday because I was just really tired. And because I finished the TJ Klune book. So yeah, I finished In the Lives of Puppets yesterday, and in the end I gave it 2 stars only, which in all honesty I'm really sad about. But yeah, I talked you through a lot of what my problems were already. Another thing that I just like realized in the end is there's so much talk about like humanity is this, humanity is that, it really annoys you at some point. And the other thing I told to my partner, I don't know if that annoys anyone, but it did annoy me, was the fact there were so many like nods to Pinocchio that were just in weird parts. Like they have like an airship which they use to travel, and they compare it to like going into the mouth of a whale. And then you have a part where he talks about like, because Vic fixes Hep with wood, and he's like, yeah, you're a wooden boy and stuff like that, you know. It's just so weird. And in the end, the house in the Cerulean Sea felt just like really peaceful and so whimsical, you know. This has nothing of that feeling, but I think it's supposed to have that feeling. You know, there's so many parts in here where I think you're supposed to feel sad for the characters, or, you know, feel hopeful for them, and I just was annoyed. Like, there wasn't any other feeling in the book other than being annoyed about how the characters behaved, how they talked, what they said. It's just, I don't know, it's weird. I don't like it. I'm to be honest, even though I didn't have any expectations for the book, except for that the one book I read from TJ Klune I really liked, this one doesn't compare at all to The House on the Cerulean Sea. So if you want to read something from TJ Klune, read In the House on the Cerulean Sea. To be honest, don't spend any money on this. I don't think it's worth it. Maybe if you're a romance reader, it might just be a personal problem with that, but then again, I don't think that this is in any way like a romance, even though it's a weirdly sexual book. I don't know. I just really disliked it. I had to like bring myself to read it. It didn't get going any like at all. And yeah, I'm sad to say I didn't like it. It's just, I don't know. No. So yeah, maybe if you liked the book you can tell me why you liked it. Maybe it's just really not my type of book. But after being so in love with The House in the Cerulean Sea, I think, yeah, I'm rather disappointed, to be honest. And then the next reading update is the second book I finished. This one I finished this morning, In the Lives of Puppets. I finished yesterday evening still. So yeah, I read John Skip, The Long Last Call, and that is a doozy, that book. I think in today's world it would come with a lot of trigger warnings. Let's just say, I gave it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it in a sense. I think it's weird to say like I enjoyed a book full of violence, but yeah, I enjoyed it. I think it is a good horror book. it's just weird as well at the same time. So yeah, now let's go into, well, first of all, trigger warning for like excessive violence, sexual abuse, yeah, just I don't even know how to like gore, kind of, yeah, stuff like that. Yeah, and then spoiler warning, because I'm gonna talk about what happens in the book. As I told you, we have the strip club and the guy comes in, and once the people touch him, they get aggressive. But they not only get aggressive, they also get horny. And it's a really weird combination. We have 3 strippers in the strip club. Then we have one mother who is pretty much there for the strippers to like make sure everything is fine. Then we have the doorman, the barman, the one who owns the strip club, and we have, I think, 4 other guests in there. And one of the guests, he's a schizophrenic, but only like the bad guy has that, so I would be careful with that, saying that, you know. But yeah, so those are all of the people we have in there. And one example of like the brutality of the thing is, because of the money, the strippers get really aggressive. We actually have 4 strippers. 5 strippers. 5 strippers. Yeah, I forgot some. But yeah, so 3 of the strippers get really aggressive because of the money. But they get horny at the same time, and so the guy who owns the club also gets horny before getting aggressive. He doesn't really get that aggressive, he just gets horny. And so he goes onto the stage with them, and they do stuff, like sexual stuff to one another, and then the girls just rip his heart out and rip his ribs out and just massacre him on the stage while kind of doing it. That is what this book is about. Then we have like one of the strippers who was abused as a child, being abused by the doorman, for example. Like, that kind of violence is in this book, but it was written so well. It was really uncomfortable reading, but at the same time it was just, oh my god, what comes next, you know? There really was like this aspect where you were like, I want to know what happens, but I don't want to know. And yeah, it's just, it's incredible. I think it was really well done. Though I gave it 4 stars because I hate senseless violence, and even though I like reading the books, I still always have like this little bit of a problem with that kind of a stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I think 4 stars is a fair rating. So we have 2 stars and 4 stars, one after another, which, yeah, sometimes that happens. So yeah, I will probably in a minute continue with my audiobook, and I've decided, while I still am reading Night Watch, which I will continue tomorrow as well probably, I also want to finish one book tomorrow. And I say finish because I don't have to start it, and that is Dan Brown Origin. I really want to get this done. I have... how much do I have left? 180 pages I have left of this. My ideal plan would be to finish this tomorrow, to finally be able to say I've done it. Having this on my mind, yeah, I could just DNF it, but the fact that I've read the 4 books before and I read the majority of this makes me want to finish it, just to be able to say I finished it and to be done with it. But yeah, I absolutely hate this book. It's definitely gonna be a 1 star. I don't think this is any good to read. If you are interested in reading the Dan Brown books, I would say read the first 3 and stop after that. The first 3 are really, really good. 4 and 5, horrendous. I just wouldn't do it. But yeah, I want to finish it just for the sake of finishing it. So that is my goal for tomorrow morning. And I might start a little bit tonight. Probably not. but yeah. And then obviously we're gonna watch the remaining Lord of the Ring films, so 3 and the rest of 2 that we need to watch, and then hopefully finish the Lego set tomorrow. It is really time consuming, but it looks so great. I'm definitely gonna like insert the finished thing in this vlog just to show you. I don't know if any of you are like avid Lego fans, but like I'm like a really big Lego fan, so I really enjoy the set, and just building it together with my partner is a really fun thing to do. So yeah. Okay, let's talk about the horrendous book I read this morning, which is Origin by Dan Brown. You know, the ending is just as bad as the rest of the book. Because I didn't read it like in full this vlog, this is the 5th and last part in the Dan Brown series where Robert Langdon is the main character. And pretty much in this one, a good friend of Robert Langdon, Edmund Kirsch, who is like a really incredible scientist, he plans like a presentation because he thinks he found the reason why there can't be a god, like something like that, and so he does this really like big presentation, and he gets shot while he's live and presenting everything, and yeah, Robert but then has to flee and try to like get the video up anyway that he wanted to show after like his introduction for all of humanity to see, because it's so important. And yeah, that's pretty much what the book is about. It is incredibly bad. It plays out in Barcelona, really pretty city. I went there on holiday, would recommend. So I also knew a lot of the places he went there, because yeah, they're all touristy spots. We went there as well, and that is also my main criticism. I would say like 400 of the 600 pages in here are like touristy information. Nothing else. And yeah, in the first books, I really loved the first books of the series. Like the first 3 are great. You really had like the sense that there were some like riddles that he had to solve. Here the riddles are just so easy, they're pretty much like right in your face, they're incredibly unnecessary, like I don't really know why they're even in here, if they aren't really that interesting, and so yeah, I gave it 1 star. I hated reading it. But yeah, I only read like 200 pages of it, or 180 this week, but I'm finally finished with the series. I don't ever have to look at another Dan Brown book again, which in all honesty I'm really happy about. The first 3 books of the series I felt like were like a popcorn movie, you know, a movie you watch just to enjoy it even though it isn't like the best. That was what I felt for like the first 3 books. And then the 4th book was like, but like doable. This one I just wouldn't even pick up, it's so bad. So yeah. I really don't want to say anything else about the book, to be honest, because I wouldn't recommend reading it, so I won't even tell you anything about it really much, because just don't do it. It's not worth it. There's just no reason to pick that book up. But yeah, other than that, we finished building the Lego Lord of the Rings set. I'm gonna put you like a picture here. It looks incredible. It took forever. We watched all 3 special extended edition Lord of the Rings movies, plus half of the first Hobbit movies, so that is how much time it took 2 people to build it. But yeah, it was a great time. I really enjoyed it. I'm sad that it's over, to be honest. But yeah, that is now standing on our kitchen table because we don't have a shelf that is big enough for it, because it's fucking huge. But yeah, other than that, it's already Saturday evening. I'm gonna go back to gaming now and enjoy my evening, and yeah, I have no idea what books I will read next. I'm still in the middle of Night Watch, which I will probably continue with tomorrow morning, but yeah, I also still have some other books I would love to get read this month, so I'm gonna see what I can read, like what I managed to read, because we already have like the 20th, but yeah. So reading is going good, even though the last books were kinda but you know, that happens with trying things out and reading different stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna end the vlog here now. thank you for watching. If you liked the vlog, please like, maybe subscribe. It would really mean the world to me, and I will see you in Thursday's video. Bye bye!